Hey guys, I just wanted to share a video with you today on some chicken enchiladas. I'm gonna make it a couple different ways for a lower calorie option and then a higher calorie option. And the reason you may want to do this is you got different people in your family with different goals. You know, if you're on a fat loss diet and your significant other is trying to gain muscle, you may have totally different calorie and macro goals. So this is an easy way to take the same ingredients and purpose them in a way that fits what you're trying to accomplish. So starting off, I'll just go over the ingredients I have here. I got a crock pot of chicken breast. All I did with this was throw it in my crock pot with some water and turn it on low for about 5 hours when I left this morning. The nice thing about this recipe is it doesn't take very long, and this can be done and you can just assemble it at home like I'm going to in the video. I also have my seasoning, so I did some taco seasoning on here, adobo, that's my jam. And then whatever else you want to use. I'm definitely going to be using some Cholula today because that's one of my favorite parts of this recipe is like that Mexican flavor. We have some enchilada sauce. You could use red or green, brand of your choice. Black beans. I have some red peppers that were just sauteed in the pan a little bit. We got a couple different cheeses. I'll go over those more in detail. And then I have tortillas, both flour and corn. So that's pretty much our cast of characters. Now what I'm going to do is start off by weighing up some chicken to make the lower calorie enchiladas. And basically my goal with this is to have an idea of how much protein I want each serving to have. So if I have a pound of chicken, you know, that's 16 ounces, all right? When chicken's cooked, it's about 8 grams per ounce. So that's going to be, you know, 150 grams of protein-ish from my chicken. I'm going to get some more protein from my beans. There'll be a little bit from the cheese and the rest of the ingredients too. So let's say we got 150 grams and I want to get in 30 grams per. That's going to be 5 servings out of my casserole dish. That's easy for me to divide, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just get a pound of this weighed up. So I put my container on there and I'm going to just put a pound of chicken in. And like I said, this is just our crock pot shredded chicken. Super easy to do. And I went ahead and seasoned this already, but you could add more if you want. So we'll go a little bit more, we're close. All right, there's a pound of chicken right there. So we got our protein for that one. I'm gonna add a little bit of the enchilada sauce. I'm gonna use one of these for each batch so it's easy to track. I'm just gonna use a little bit to get it nice and moist. Yeah, I use the M word. All right, we're gonna mix this up. All right, that looks good, nothing crazy, okay? Now we're gonna take our dish here and we're gonna line it with our tortillas. So I'm gonna use corn tortillas because they're a little bit lower in calories. These are about 10 grams of carbs per tortilla. And I have already sprayed my dish here with some non-stick cooking spray. I'm just gonna get the bottom lined up so we have good coverage on the bottom. All right, then we'll put our chicken on, and I'm thinking we'll do 2 layers. So I'm gonna basically do this in half. All right, get it set so I can get about half of this on the bottom, then I'll do a second layer. All right, so we'll spread this out. Get our chicken spread so it's pretty even. And then we'll get our peppers. We're gonna use about half this. This is 2 bell peppers that I cooked up. I'll use 1 in each batch because everybody needs extra veggies. Just a second. All right, so just spreading this out. All right, then we're gonna put some black beans on here. And you could use corn too if you wanna add that. That's always a good option with the Southwest stuff. I'm gonna put about half the can in this layer and I'll put the other half in the top layer. And all I did with this is drain it. Nothing special there. I'm gonna do a little bit more of our enchilada sauce. And then I'm gonna use a low-fat mozzarella cheese for this. I also have some cheddar jack here, which would be good too, but I'm gonna save that for my higher calorie option. This one's a little bit lower in fat. This is about 80 calories per serving compared to this is about 110. It's just a way for us to shave some of the calories off. And I'm just gonna put maybe a third of the bag on this layer so I get some coverage. I'm gonna add a little extra seasoning. I'm gonna do a little hot sauce, because why not? And a little more of this dry rub here. All right, cool, so that's one layer. We're gonna go ahead and do one more like that. Same process, layer it up. And if you do this pretty evenly, when you go to track it, you can basically just decide how many servings you want this to be and cut it accordingly, so you hit the kind of numbers you want to hit with each serving. All right, we got our chicken. Throw this on again. Get some more peppers. All right. Get the rest of our beans. Then we'll go more cheese. And I always like to put more of the cheese on the top so it gets like nice and melty. Really, when we go to cook this, we're not like, everything's already cooked. We could eat it as is. We're just trying to get stuff to melt and look good. Get a little brown on your cheese is usually my indicator of how done we are. Once we get this dressed up, we'll throw it in an oven. Really, it doesn't even matter what temperature. You go 350, 400. It'll probably take about 15 minutes before it gets nice and like brown and melty on the cheese, and then it'll be ready to roll. Finally, I'm gonna finish with the enchilada sauce. Get the edges a little bit here, and then go in the middle. All right, so that'll do it, and I'll pop it in the oven, and it'll be done in about 10 to 15 minutes. All right, so now we're gonna go through our lower calorie enchilada option. So for this one, I'm calling it 6 servings so that we get enough protein in each serving, since we're only using a pound of chicken on this one. So we got our can of enchilada sauce, our can of black beans, our whole bag of the low-fat part skim mozzarella cheese. We used 12 tortillas in that one total, and then 2 bell peppers, which weighed out to about 250 grams, and our 16 ounces of boiled chicken breast, which comes out to 437 calories, about 12 grams of fat, 43 carbs, and almost 40 grams of protein per serving. So we'll take it for the lower calorie option. All right, so both of our batches of enchiladas are done. We got our lower calorie one and then our higher calorie one. Based on how we tracked it, you know, this one we're gonna cut into 6 even pieces, so down the middle, and then 2 cuts here. And then for your lower calorie options, to keep the calories down, you could always top it with like salsa, hot sauce, pickled jalapenos. Those would be lower calorie options for your toppings. On our higher calorie one, we're gonna cut this one into 8 pieces. And for this one, if you wanted to add even more calories, you could serve it with rice or Mexican rice or potatoes. some kind of starch like that. You could put on higher calorie options like cream-based salsas or sour cream or avocado or guac. If you're gonna eat it at breakfast, you could even throw a couple eggs on top. That way you take the calories up even more. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it gives you some ideas for your own food prep. Keep going in 2021.